Lone Star Gridiron is looking for interns. Over the years, we have helped dozens of students get jobs in sports media. If you want to shortcut your path to a career in sports media, click on the internship link on LoneStarGridiron.com. All right, everybody join me in welcoming Coach Matt Uzzell from Flatonia to the show. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So tell me first about the transition there to Flatonia. You're a Bulldog now.
Yeah, so long story short, I was in Lake Belton. I was at Lake Belton and Temple, helped open up that school with Brian Cope and those guys up there. And I really it got really big. We had over 300 kids in the program, and I felt like I knew most of their names, but I had a relationship with about 10 to 15 of them, and I just felt like that wasn't what I was doing this for, and I needed a change. I needed to change professionally, and then my family needed a change too, and we picked up and moved my three girls and my wife to Flatonia, and my oldest just graduated. In fact, she left to head up to college today. We're leaving tonight to meet her halfway or to meet her on the way, and then we'll move her in tomorrow. So she moved as a senior, and then my middle daughter, who's a junior now, got to play 5 sports with her sister last year, and so that was a major plus for us to move here. And then our youngest, who's now in 6th grade, also has loved the move as well. So it's something God had to orchestrate, because we would we would have never have thought of picking up and moving. I've been in 5A, 6A my whole life, and
Yeah.
so coming down to the 2A level was intriguing, and it's been exciting, to say the least. So we're
Yeah.
glad to be.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a different world entirely. It's a great community, but the football program did not do very exceptional last year. So talk to me about that.
No, there's some challenges that we have to work through. You know, Flatonia is a great community
Yeah.
and very competitive in a lot of different things. But football has kind of struggled a little bit the last couple of years. And you know, the biggest struggle I think for us has been participation.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a lot of kids in the school. We turned in about 210. But there was a point where I looked last year, and our football kids that were going out to practice, there were less numbers than were in the off season in the athletic period. And so that was one thing that I knew we were going to have to change right away. And we've done that. We're not anywhere where we need to be, but building relationships and getting kids to be excited about a sport. You know, football's hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to play basketball in an air conditioned gym, or this is a huge baseball town, which is awesome. I love all sports, and so not really fighting that, but just encouraging kids. Hey, you can do both, and or all three, and you can
Yeah.
be really good at all three, and you're gonna, we really want to enhance your experience the best we possibly can. And so that's kind of where we are in that. And I think with numbers, we got some kids that played as freshmen that didn't play last year as sophomores that have come back out as juniors that are going to help us tremendously. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's huge. And talk to me about that. What do you have coming back?
What do we have coming back? We got a whole lot of kids that work really hard.
Yeah.
On the offensive and defensive line, Kevin Ramirez and Diego Ramirez, no relation. They are two kind of really strong leaders in this program. In the back our skill positions, Kason Perez was he I would have said was our best football player last year, but he was hampered by injuries all year long, and so I think he ended up playing 2.5 games last year. And so he'll be a senior this year. We're trying to keep him healthy as a running back / receiver, and then outside linebacker. Got an inside linebacker that has grown tremendously, Lucas Gutierrez, who will be a senior as well. And Corin Scott is another another senior linebacker, running back that has grown up a lot in his time here, and we're looking for big things out of him.
Nice. And what have you discovered so far are some of the major holes that you're going to need kids to step up and fill?
That's a great, O-line, D-line is always a challenge. I think especially at the smaller levels. But I mean, I've coached college, I've coached 5A, 6A. Like you never feel comfortable
Yeah.
on the O-line and the D-line. And we've added some kids, and some kids have really grown into some roles with that.
Mhm.
A couple of kids, Ethan Arnett and Sergio Diarcos, who were here all summer, getting better. And those guys are going to play a major role as that. CJ Castle is another senior who played O-line and D-line, but was out all last year with a knee injury that we have back for his senior year. So we're excited about those guys. So I think that's the biggest hole, and then we're going to have some questions that we have to answer because really our two best playmakers on both sides of the ball last year, Keegan Green and Beck Zimmerman, we lost to graduation, and so we're going to have someone step up to fill those roles as well.
Got it. And what will fans in the stands who have been around for years, what will they see that's different?
The goal is that they're going to see kids that love each other enough that they're going to compete their tails off. All
Yeah.
right. I firmly believe in building a program based on love. I think motivation out of fear works for a little while, but
Yeah.
it's pretty fleeting. And I know as a kid, like when I was motivated out of fear, I kind of found a way to get by without getting in trouble. It wasn't so much that I wanted to do the right thing, but I think once I learned what motivation out of love is, I think you get more of a compelling nature to just compete. And kids aren't any different. People say kids have changed. They really haven't.
Mhm.
What they do, what kids have, and I had too as a kid as well, is we want immediate gratification. And sometimes when that immediate gratification doesn't show up, we start, I mean, what's going on? Like, why am I working this hard and all of that? And so just getting them to try to trust that what we're trying to instill in them is gonna make them better. And then, eventually, hopefully that scoreboard changes in our favor by doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Once they understand that later in life, and I know it's hard for kids to look at a later in life scenario, but once they understand that later in life, the most positive memories will be the hardest things they did.
Sure, sure. I mean, nothing that you get worthwhile comes easy, right?
Yeah.
And so we've talked about that quite a bit, and I'm very open with them. I said my number one goal is to teach you how to be a great teammate, because if you can be a great teammate, then immediately right now you're going to be a better son, you're going to be a better brother, and then in the future you're going to be a better husband, father, co-worker, insert whatever
Yeah.
role you have. If you're a better teammate, then you're going to be better at it, because that's what life is. It's about how figuring out stuff and teamwork as it goes.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, we're going to talk about your district, which is a tough slog, but first let's talk pre-district, non-district schedule. Who do you have and what do you expect there?
Well, we've got a whole lot of unanswered questions because there's a lot of new coaches,
Yeah.
just on our schedule in general. We're new, obviously, but we open up with Louise, which was our only win last year, and but they will have a new coach, Cameron Murrah. I've known Cameron for a long time. He's a great guy, and I think he's going to do really good things there. So that's going to be a challenge week one. Week two, we've got Sacred Heart, who also has a new Coach Rodney Dow has taken on that role. And that was a one-score loss for us last year.
Yeah.
We lost that in the last seconds of the game. And we actually talked today about doing the little things that need to get done in a one-score game to where we're on the right side of it, or at least put ourselves in a position to be. Then after that, we have Three Rivers, who also has a new coach. Coach Garcia was similar to me, and he was on staff last year. So I think they will be similar. to what they were last year, but they're usually a solid playoff team and all of that. So a good non-district for us to kind of gauge like some growth, and then we get right in. Welcome to district with the Ganado Indians, and they are outstanding. Coach Irvin does a great job. Outstanding coach. And their program, like their eighth grade last year might have made the playoffs in our district. They were really good. So we're looking forward to them being really good again. And then Schulenburg's got a new coach, Coach Ferguson, to come over from Elgin. We've got them at the end of the year, but that's going to be a challenge. Coach are in Weimar. Coach Dylan, I know is Conway. Coach Dylan Conway is in Weimar. He was there last year with Coach Griffin. Coach Griffin had done a phenomenal job of turning that program around. And so I think they're still going to be moving in the right direction. Danbury's going to have a new coach. Bloomington had one of their best year last year in years. And so, there's some challenges in this district. Kennedy, Coach Williams does a great job. And he's gonna be very talented, young, but very talented. And so it's kind of up in the air. I think we're, you don't more talking about playoffs, right? I don't want to even think about that right now. I want to, we're working on trying to get better and having a good practice tomorrow. But our schedule has some intriguing things to it, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So, I did the coaches show last year with Coach Mashak, and the one game I went to was Ganado, which was the wrong one for me to go to to watch Flatonia. But so tell me a game that I should attend this year.
Well, oh man, we're excited. I mean, right now I'm really focused on Louise, but a cool experience would probably be somewhere around the later ends of district, like when we play Weimar or Schulenburg, just because they're kind of neighborhood. I mean, not neighborhood, but they're kind of the towns closest to us, and the kids know each other, and they go to the same things. I think you'll hear, if you come to the Weimar game, you'll hear about chili spill, which would have just happened the week before.
I've been there many times.
Oh, it's great. But I would say either Schulenburg or Weimar, just from the standpoint of kind of the community, like that'll be the biggest probably draw of any of our games. But we had really great close games with Danbury last year, and they'll come here. That might be a game that might be entertaining to the end. And then we'll see from there.
So is Schulenburg at your place or at their new stadium?
Schulenburg will be at their new stadium, and according to Coach Ferguson, it's going to be ready. So
they should have it. Nice. So that might be a good one, because that's not too far from me. So let's jump into and talk about what I call the lightning round. Okay, now I'm going to say two words or two phrases, and you tell me which one connects with you the most.
It's okay.
Willie Nelson or George Strait?
Oh, George Strait.
Dogs.
It's a tough one.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's a real tough. I try not to make them too easy. There's a couple easy ones like this next one.
I think Willie Nelson. If you say Willie Nelson, then people might think things about you. But
nice. So dogs or cats?
Dogs, absolutely.
Hoodie or polo?
Oh, hoodie.
Buc-ee's or Whataburger?
Buc-ee's.
Ribs or brisket?
Yes.
Exactly. That's my answer.
Yeah. But you can't beat a 4 tender brisket. You can't.
Right.
You cannot.
I love it. Queso or salsa?
Salsa.
Coach Prime or Coach Saban?
Saban.
Cowboys or Texans?
Cowboys.
Longhorns or Aggies?
I got to be careful around here.
Yeah.
We are maroon and white, and we're an Adidas school. And I think there were five Aggies in my interview.
Oh,
And
wow.
but if I had to choose, I love Texas football, so
Yeah,
I'll root for all of them. But the Longhorns, if they're playing each other, I'm going for the Longhorns.
I love it. I love it. So, out of all the high school football coaches in Texas, all levels, whether you've coached against them or not, who would be the biggest challenge when it comes to that chess match between coaches?
Oh, there's some great coaches.
Yeah.
The ones the one I'm most familiar with that I think is would always be a chess match is Larry Hill.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Larry Hill, um, he just he's just phenomenal. When my first job, I was I was at Harlandale High School in San Antonio, and we were in their district, and that was not fun. But they were so good, and they were just so well coached. So I said I would. I mean, Larry Hill he's up there as one of those guys that you just want to sit down and pick their brain.
Yeah. No, I enjoy every conversation with him. It's so thankful that he got his state title last year. That was so
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. So, out of your current coaching staff right now, which one is the funniest?
The funniest, the funniest has to be Brian Zimmerman. Brian Zimmerman's from Hallettsville. He's connected to Flatonia, married Flatonia royalty, and so he's been around for a while, and he's a funny guy to, it's I don't know if it's always G rated, but he's a funny guy to be around.
I love it. And the reason I added this question this year is I spent so much time in coaching rooms where the coaches are all talking to each other. And it dawned on me the world doesn't see the fun side. And that's where all the laughter happens.
It's I learned when I coached with Jeremy Irvin a couple of years at Trinity. That's one of the things that he talked about, like because he played 9 years in the NFL, and he said, what I missed really was the locker room, but
Yep.
with the coach, like when you go into coaching, you still get that locker room, even though you're not necessarily beating your body up every
Right.
day, and that's really, I mean, that's really it is. And then you get such a fraternity with guys like I've been here a year, and one of my closest friends is Dylan Conway and Weimer. Like we
Yeah.
became friends in track last year, and then both of us kind of slid into these new roles. And he's it's just you establish a really good rapport with guys, because you're going through the same stuff,
Yeah.
and just maybe 2.5 hours on a Friday once a year, you hate each other, but but
Right.
the rest of the time you gotta do life together, because they get it more than anybody else on
Yep.
what's going on.
Amen. Amen. Well, Coach Gosh, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me and best of luck this season, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate what you do, Chris.
Cool. I'll edit this out there. Yeah, I thought that one exceptional. Thank you.
Okay,
Uh,
sure.
so yeah, last time I talked to you, you had said you had passed it along to the AD. Uh,
Yeah,
and
I really don't. So explain to me what's going, like what it all entails.
sure, sure. Yeah, like I said, we did it last year with him. We do about 20 different ones around the state each year. Uh,
Okay.
and for you, your commitment would be pick a time, same day, same time every week. We do a 15-minute phone call, and
Okay.
and I record the audio. And it's just, hey, what happened last week? Call out some kids that did well. Let's look at your upcoming opponent. Pretty simple stuff. Um, the details I think I sent you on how it all happens is the booster club covers the cost, 2,500 covers the whole season, and then they go out and sell ads in the thing. And
Okay.
and then schools like Wimberley, they make 8-10,000 in profit because their community is different. But that's really it. So it's up to them how much they want to charge for those ads.
Okay, so like that's all, and then the ads are what, 30-second spots or minute
Yeah.
spots?
Yeah, usually it's about 30 second and it's what's called a host read. So we work with the advertiser. So if you sell it to Joe Smith Chevrolet, our staff would call them. We'd say, hey, what do you want to say about your company? How do you want us to present you? We record it. We get them to approve it,
Gotcha.
and then we run it. And it's a host read, which would be myself or Mike Foreman. I'm not sure who would do this one yet, depending on the schedule. Because we reserve those times and coaches are already grabbing my time. So it might be Mike Foreman. But either way, Mike Foreman's a well-known entity in this area. And yeah, so it would just be in there every time.
Okay, I will. Here's the God's honest truth is we were both hired in mid-June.
Yeah.
And then like splitting the job and doing all that, like just trying to figure out like where we are, like he's still the offensive coordinator, which is great because I didn't want to do this without him. But like he told me after practice today, he goes, do you need anything? Because I just need to go lock myself in my office and hammer out emails and do all this kind of. So I think it's something that has value. We may just have to wait. And I'm going to talk to him and see maybe this is something we do year 2.
Okay.
To kind of get rolling with it, just because like I don't even know where our booster club is at this point. Like, it seemed like our booster club last year was kind of senior parent driven. Well, they're gone. So I don't know what it's going to look like now that all of that and what that looks like. But either way, he would have to approve it, and then it would have to go to the booster club and all that. But I will bring it up again now that I've kind of got a little more understanding of it, and then too we'll figure out how to make that work. But
okay, and feel free to share my contact info with him if he just has any questions. I can probably explain it really fast. I know he's booked for time, but also want him to realize we do 99% of the work. So
yeah. And that's, I mean, at the worst case scenario, the booster club's out 2,500 if they don't do anything.
Right.
Okay. I got you. Okay. That all makes a little more sense. I'll see if I get a chance to talk to him. When do you need, like, when's like an absolute cutoff?
Just as soon as possible kind of deal. Because our first episode should be the week before your first game, your first real game. So we would talk about the scrimmages and the upcoming opponent.
Okay. All right. I will see what we can do, and I won't keep you hanging. I'll give you a yes or no by the end of the week.
Cool. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, and if you need anything, let me know.
All right. Sounds good. Do you need anything else from me?
Not that I can think of, unless you know of any kids who are interested in being an intern. We do have internships where they can write about your team, and we'll put them up on Gridiron. So it's free publicity for them, for your team, and it helps them build a portfolio if they want to go into sports media.
Sure. Okay. I might have somebody.
Cool.
In mind. I might have somebody. So let me check and see if that's something that they want to do. Okay, where can I, like, will I be able to, will this be available, this Zoom or whatever?
I've got my editor working overtime because I recorded a boatload of them at coaching school. And
gotcha.
And so he's, as fast as he can get them out, we're going to throw them up on YouTube. We're going to throw them up on Lone Star Gridiron. So I'll share it when it comes live. I'll text it to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. You have a good one.
You too. Take care, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Get ready to tee off with the legends of Texas sports. That's right, the TLSN Legends Golf Classic, a day of golf, glory, and giving back. It will be held at the Great Hills Country Club in Austin, Texas, Sunday, September 15th. Registration 11 a.m., tea time around noon, award ceremony at 6 p.m. Who's invited? Everyone. Fans, friends, alumni, business leaders, and golf lovers. If you have any interest in golf, this is the must-attend golf tournament. Whether you're swinging for birdies or just soaking up the stories, this is a can't-miss event. What can you expect? A round of golf with Texas sports legends. A premium course experience at Great Hills, awards, prizes, and exclusive photo ops. Food, drinks, unforgettable memories. The full details will be coming soon, as well as the lineup of legends who will be the captains for each team. To stay in the loop and to keep updated on player announcements, sponsor reveals, and ticket availability, go to texaslsn.org. That's texaslsn.org. The TLSN Legends Golf Classic.